Jeremiah wanted me to come and give an update with my situation. For those of you that don't know, in the beginning of the year, I began to have health issues, and through a series of weeks and tests and so on and so forth, we found that there was a tumor on my brain stem, and that it was rather large. There you'll see it, the white round thing there. Everybody see it? Raise your hand, say I do. And so because of that, because it was so large, they said they needed to remove it. So in April I went for surgery, and 8 hours of surgery, 2 surgeons, and they removed what they could up to the brain stem and left some there because it's too dangerous to try to cut it, try to rip it, try to pull it, that kind of thing, because of paralysis and brain damage and things like that. And so I had to learn to walk again, and had to reprogram my brain so that I could walk balancing with just one ear, because they cut the nerve in this ear. And your brain has to put everything together. It's very difficult. And let me just say something right here. Every one of us is going to stand next to death one day. Everyone. I didn't know it would be this soon. When you stand next to death, nobody's standing there with you. My wonderful wife doesn't stand with me. My homes don't go with me. My possessions that God's given me, they don't go with me. What I've done, it doesn't matter. Who I am doesn't matter. When you stand facing death, I looked around and there was Jesus standing next to me. Could you not? Could you not? Let me make this practical to you. When I was a little kid, we used to go to Africa, and we had to go to the doctors and get 1 million shots, injections. To a little kid, it's very devastating. I get cholera, yellow fever, tetanus, hepatitis. You know there's hepatitis shots, hepatitis A, B, C. I think it goes to Z, actually. I think there's one for every letter of the alphabet. It just seemed like it was like overwhelming. And so I'd go in and I'd go to get my shots, and the doctor couldn't handle me as a little kid because I was fighting him. Nurses would come in, I think it'd be 6 or 7 would come in, hold me down to give me these shots. And then I got to thinking, you know what? I'm going to tell Dad about it, because those guys are abusing me in there. So I said to my dad, I said, next time when I go in, I want you to come in. I want you to see what they're doing to me. So I'd go in the next time, have to get the shots, but I'd sit there because Dad was sitting next to me. And I knew that Dad would never let them do something to me that was abusive. Whatever trial you face, make sure your dad is sitting right next to you. Because what you're facing today, and you may feel that it's overwhelming and it's abusive, but when Dad's standing next to you, what they're doing to you, giving you those shots, they're for your good, for in the future, make you a better person, healthier. I prayed for healing, that tumor would be removed. And so we should. But God chose to let me go through the surgery. Wasn't fun, very much a challenge. But God helped me. So they told me, they said, well, come back in September, and they'll give the tumor time to gather itself together. We'll see how much is left, because the doctor left it there. So I went on Friday, early in the morning, my wife and I went over for the MRI, and we had to wait to see the brain surgeon. And he came in, pulled them up on the screens, and he said, everything looks good. I said, what are you talking about? Tell me more. He said, well, actually, he said, I don't see the part of the tumor that I left there. So over here, this is from Friday. All of this right here is fat tissue. They took it from my belly and put it there. Now nobody call me a fathead, because that's not. You'll see, that's all. This is all fat tissue. Here's where the tumor was, and there's no tumor, no partial. I said to him, no, wait. He said, I know it's there because I left it there. I said, well, where is it? He said, I can't see it. I thought to myself, okay. But you see, from April till now, we've been praying that whatever was left would just die. It just die. You see, this is why I trust God. This is why you can trust God. We trusted Him yesterday, we trust Him today, and we will trust Him in the future. Trust me on that. Because we serve an awesome God. Father, today I thank you for touching me. This silly voice of mine, don't worry about it. But with what voice I do have, I praise your name for your goodness, for your healing power. And I know that in spite of passing through this trial, you've given me now a platform to stand on, to declare your good works, and nobody can argue with me. Because we have proof of how good you are. Visible to our eyes. Nobody can deny it. We thank you for your goodness, and we praise your name. In Jesus' name. Amen.